Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Right from when we're little kids, we are literally wired to explore everything around us. We touch stuff, we test things out, and most importantly, we ask a ton of questions. So today, we're going to channel that exact same childhood wonder and dive right into what science actually is, how we do it, and why it totally matters to you every single day. Let's get into it. I really want you to think about this for a quick second. Have you ever just looked up at the night sky and wondered, why do the stars actually shine? Or maybe you've been watching a flower bloom in the morning and caught yourself wondering how it knows exactly when to open up. See, these aren't just random passing thoughts. They're actually the fundamental mysteries of the universe. It's just a simple question, right? But it sparks the exact same curiosity that drives literally all scientific discovery. Basically, without curiosity, there is no science, period. So here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. First, welcome to the puzzle. Then, mysteries all around us, followed by the scientific method. After that, you are already a scientist, and we'll wrap up with the endless journey. All right, let's jump right in. Section 1. Welcome to the puzzle. You see, science isn't just some boring collection of facts stuffed into a heavy textbook. Not at all. It's actually an incredibly active way of thinking. Think of it like a giant, completely unending jigsaw puzzle. You find a piece, you figure out where it fits, and suddenly the big picture becomes just a little bit clearer. Every single new discovery we make adds another piece to that puzzle. And honestly, the absolute best part? Sometimes we realize a piece was put in the completely wrong place. New discoveries will literally force us to move pieces around, which can change our entire understanding of the world. How cool is that? Moving on to Section 2. Mysteries all around us. Okay, so once you realize science is a puzzle, your very next question is probably going to be, well, where are the pieces? The answer is they are absolutely everywhere. We can look at this on a massive macro scale. We're talking about towering mountains, the crushing depths of the ocean, and the unbelievable vastness of outer space. But then contrast that with the micro level. Science is equally present in tiny little grains of sand, the crazy, intricate structure of a single blade of grass, or even the chemical reactions happening in your kitchen pot right this second. Groundbreaking discoveries are happening everywhere, from the deepest oceans straight to your local playground. To really give you a sense of this, just take a look at the world's curriculum. It's a massive list. It includes planet Earth and its absolutely incredible variety of life. It covers our food and diverse cuisines. Like, what are they actually made of? It includes totally everyday materials, like the paper we write on or that plastic ruler sitting in your desk right now. It covers water and weather. Why on earth does it rain? And why does water freeze? And of course, space and the stars. Literally everything, from a blooming flower to a simple puddle of rain after a storm, is part of this grand curriculum. Which brings us to Section 3, the scientific method. So, we've talked a lot about what science studies, but how exactly does it work in practice? Well, imagine this. You're writing down some really important notes, and suddenly, nothing. It just stops. You look down at the paper and you ask yourself, why did my pen stop writing? Now, sure, it's a super frustrating everyday reality, but guess what? In that exact moment, you've just kicked off a genuine scientific inquiry. Think about it. When your pen stops, you don't usually just toss it in the trash immediately, right? You make a guess. Guess number 1, the ink is finished. So what do? You unscrew the pen and you check the refill. Right there, you are actively testing your guess. If it's empty, boom, great, problem solved. But suppose you look and there's actually plenty of ink left. What do you do then? You naturally formulate guess number 2. Well, maybe the ink has just dried up. To test this new guess, you might scribble really hard on a piece of scrap paper, or maybe try warming up the tip. See, you are naturally testing theories just to get a simple pen working again. And it turns out this everyday process maps perfectly onto the 5 formal steps of the scientific method. Step 1, observe. You notice the pen stopped writing. Step 2, wonder. You asked yourself why it stopped. Step 3, guess. You guessed the ink was out. Step 4, test. You opened it up and checked the pen. And finally, step 5, analyze. You reviewed that ink level to see if your initial guess was actually correct. It really is that straightforward. Science isn't about memorizing a bunch of dry facts. It's honestly just following this step-by-step process to find real, tangible answers.
All right, Section 4. You are already a scientist.
It's a huge misconception that this structured method is just locked away in fancy laboratories with people wearing white coats. Not true at all. Just take a look at these everyday scientists. You've got a cook wondering why the dal suddenly spilled out of the cooker. Like, was there maybe a bit too much water in there?
or a bicycle repair person trying to hunt down exactly where the air leaked out of a flat tire, or even an electrician testing whether a light isn't turning on because of a dead bulb or maybe just a faulty switch. The point is, everyday people are, knowingly or unknowingly, applying the exact same scientific method to solve their daily problems.
Because of all this, I really think we need to fundamentally redefine the word scientist. A scientist is simply anyone who follows the scientific method to solve problems or discover new things. That's it. If you observe your surroundings, if you ask how and why, and you actually test out your guesses, congratulations, you totally fit the bill. Learning science in a formal setting, well, that just helps us hone these exact same skills so we can eventually solve much bigger problems and maybe even unravel those deeper mysteries of the universe.
And finally, Section 5, the endless journey.
So now that we know we're literally all scientists, how do we actually keep this lifelong exploration going? Well, first things first, remember that science is rarely ever done alone. Scientists all across the globe work together, very often in massive, massive teams. It's a deeply collaborative process. So if you're out there looking at the world, asking tough questions, and you just can't seem to find an answer yourself, ask your friends to help you out. Seriously, you aren't expected to find all the answers instantly on your own. Discovery is meant to be a shared, collaborative joy.
I love this saying. To be a wise person, you really must be a wise person. That's WHYS. Because true wisdom, it comes directly from asking why. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought-provoking question to take into the rest of your day. What will you ask why about today? Just look around you, find a mystery, make a guess, and start your very own scientific journey right now. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep exploring, and please never stop wondering.